Jimmy Perry. Anybody want to start us off? Berkeley. Well, we'll go. Garrett and Jarrett.
Coach, y'all blocked a lot of kicks. I believe 5 combined this season. What's been the key to that?
You know, we've always tried to be aggressive. I think some of it's having, I think it's a mindset of the guys doing it. Certain guys, Oliver Miles has been really good, just the ball get off and athleticism. And we probably made a bigger focus on it last spring. Punt return punt return and punt blocks. I just thought something we had to get better on, and we really worked it pretty hard, and I think it showed this year.
What's been the key to Stone's progression from his time here at Texas Tech?
Like I said, it's probably just him not listening to me. We've been hard on Stone for the first couple of years, and he matured a lot, honestly, and he just kind of just put it all behind him and worried about kicking because he's got an unbelievable leg. But as I've said it before, a lot of kicking and punting is mental. But I've been so proud of that kid. He's been great for us.
I wonder if you have any thoughts on some of the kicking that was going on last week. I think at one point during the Miami A&M game, I think kickers were like 1
Oh
for
yeah,
8.
trust me. Every coach on our team and everyone sends us up, because we call it number 4. So, coach is pretty good. And if something happens special teams wise, someone misses a kick, a bad snap or a block, he'll say, "See, I told you guys how important number 4 was." So every game, there for a while, it's felt bad for kickers and punters. It was always special teams' fault, the reason they lost, just like everything everybody knows. But it's just part of it. You got your shots out there. And, I tell our guys, you don't get very many chances to go out there and perform. When you're out there, you better make the most of it. So, yeah, it shows up obviously in these games. It's it's a big part of the game, and we've done that here. We make sure our guys know how important it is.
I'm sure just kind of handling like the timing of practice and everything's just been weird for everybody, but especially like for your units, I guess. How do they kind of navigate?
Yeah, we haven't really changed. I've kept them on the same routine that we usually do. Kick wise, even when they were off, they were kicking. I made sure that we were doing just kind of staying our same weekly routine because I keep comparing kicking to golf. You got to keep your swing right, and so those guys, even when they're we told them to stay sharp with what they were doing.
Coach McGuire mentioned the speed of this Oregon team. What have you seen on the special teams front?
Yeah, they're really fast. But Oregon's been fast. It ain't like all of a sudden this year they're faster than they've been. They have some really good returners. A lot of their starters play. They do a good job. It's Joe Lorg. He's a great coach. So we got our hands full. But I think you turn around and say I think we're pretty damn good too. So we're not going to back down from anybody.
Who do you feel the most comfortable with right now, returning punts to the playoffs?
It's going. Like Jacoby's, he's going to get that. You could see Coy, you could see TG. But right now, Jacoby's he's that weapon for us. When where it's all the chips are on the table, we're putting our dudes in there.
You guys, obviously a couple of years removed from the last time you played Oregon, but do you see any similarities, differences from what they were? Is it just kind of the same scheme and different players?
I think there's some of the similarities. They have some different formations that they're doing on punt. But like I said, he's a great coach. So whatever you think you're going to get, I'm preparing for everything like I do every week. I think that's what you have to do at this time of year. When you play guys that have, they're good coaches, they're going to put them in situations, and I hope that we're going to put ourselves in the same thing. They got to prepare for us as well. So, but yeah, the speed of their returners, they got great kickers, punter. They're good. You're at this time, year. I like to think that you're going to have your best football. I know we're going to try to play our best football.
Coach, what has made Jack Burgess so good over the last couple of years? I
think his mustache. He's got a great mustache, and that helps. It calms him down. People love his accent. Being Aussie probably helps him. Jack he's obviously mature. The team loves him. He's just got that. Nothing bothers him. It just kind of rolls with the flow. But he's definitely a weapon. He does a really good job pinning people down inside the 20. And then, he's kind of a calming. The thing that Jack does probably the best that people don't really talk about is he's a great holder. He's got great hands, and that's probably a trait that a lot of people don't give, holders enough credit for because, bad hold, the kicker, the first thing he's going to do is going to look down and give him the national 2 hands, what did you just do to me type deal. So we hadn't had that. And if he does, I wouldn't be too happy.
Go ahead, Don.
With the national award recognitions that you've received, how well do you feel like everything's just come together all across special teams for you this year?
Well, I keep telling you, Don, that I'm a big deal. I don't know why people. I mean, it took me getting an award to realize that. You know, the time I've been here, I keep tooting my own horn. Obviously, no. You know, I you know me. The award is, those things are awesome, but I think it has to do more with our kids and our coaches. We got some great players. You know, they bust their butt on special teams, and you guys, I appreciate you guys always bringing those guys. You know, you guys have talked about them over the year, and our specialists. You know, those, you got to have everything. You know, kind of come into play, and we've been fortunate enough that, you know, we've been consistent. I think since I've been here, you know, kicking, you know, game-winning kicks, punting the ball. Obviously, when you have Austin McNamara, you know, you had Trey Wolf and Gino Garcia, the guys we've had, and then Dre McCray. We've had some good returners, and then Jackson Knotts. We've had great snappers. So everything's just kind of, you know, it's lined up for us. You know, we've had great players that have, you know, obviously my recognition is because of them. So, you know, I appreciate the guys that we've had and the effort that they put into this program.
A few years ago, you said whatever the head, one of your kind of career philosophies is whatever head coach tells you you need to do, then in terms of coaching positions, that's what you're going to go
Exactly.
do. How have you kind of taken to coaching special teams, or how have you kind of feel like you've kind of
I've
developed
always,
philosophies as a special teams coach?
I think I've always, you know, I'm a big, I love to be aggressive. I think by nature, just my coaching style has always been an aggressive, you know, be physical, play physical, learn to tackle, learn to block, fakes, put them in different situations. And I think, you know, when you first start, then I think then it's kind of evolved a little bit more into the field position game, because, you know, if some of that can backfire on you, which it's I've had backfire situations, and I like to try to stay away from those. But, you know, I just think by nature, the one thing that's good that Joey's allowed me to do is be me, you know. And but, you know, at the end of the day, if he says, hey, let's not run a fake here, or let's punt the ball, then I'm going to do whatever he says.
Go back to Jarrett.
Coach, have you had to rearrange or replace any guys on any of your special teams units due to guys entering the transfer portal?
No, I don't. Not that I know of. I mean, I think you know, you always. Coach has been pretty good. It's, you know, those guys, if they're here, if they're playing the game, we're going to use them. You know, they've been here, so I don't think of any out the top of my head anybody that I've had to do that with yet.
New deal for you, new deal for all the rest of the top coaches and lieutenants. How important is that to just kind of keep what this group is doing, keep that moving forward?
You know, I keep going back. I've said it, you know, when you guys have asked it before, this team is just, from the day that we got these guys in the spring to the last practice yesterday, man, these guys come out, their mindset's right, they practice hard, they ask questions, and they watch film, and they've been attentive. I mean, I don't know what else more you could want as a coach. You know, we you know, I keep saying is this game big? It's big, yeah, but we've been in, every game's big. You know, you really look at, I keep saying this, you know, if you lose 2 games, you're out. So every game, I don't care who it is, from our first game, every game to me has been, oh hell, we better not lose this game. We're not going to be playing in the playoffs. So, you know, the big game, the situation it is, the only thing different now, yeah, you lose and you go home. But, you know, we could have lost any of those last 2 games. I think we would have been, you know, gone home as well, besides the championship game. So our guys have, you know, they've came every week. Nothing bothers them, and they practice right. And like I said, coach has got the culture here the way it's supposed to be. And I don't expect nothing else from these guys.
Anything else? All right, we'll have Coach Wood up next. Thank you.
Y'all be good. Thank you.